I'll just start out. Today, actually just a few minutes ago, we got news that Judge Broadman has approved a stipulation entered into between the state of Arizona and the Flagstaff Living Wage Coalition and our two individual plaintiffs. The state agrees that their attempt to preempt the area of minimum wages to the state was unconstitutional and it violates the Voter Protection Act. So what that means, and also they agreed that Flagstaff and essentially other municipalities have the power to set their own higher minimum wages, higher than the state minimum. So, it's a fabulous win for the
My name is Frankie Beasley, and I'm a member of the Flagstaff Living Wage Coalition. We're pleased to learn that the Arizona Attorney General's office is in agreement with us that the state legislators violated the Voter Protection Act. Our task as a coalition is to now address the issue of low wages and poverty in Flagstaff by holding community meetings in all corners of the community with small businesses, nonprofits, and those community workers who are currently working for poverty wages. As a community, we will determine the level that the minimum wage should be set to ensure that those who work here can escape from poverty. Our local economy will prosper by the increased spending that will result from higher wages. The power of the people has prevailed, but we mustn't stop here. Now is the time for our community members from all walks of life to join together and decide for ourselves what that livable wage should be so that everyone can have a better and deserved access to a higher standard of living. A living that is not trapped in poverty. Please join us as we move into the next step of this campaign, a step where we collect our voices and stories as a community and decide as Flagstaff what we view as a livable wage.
The lowest private sector wages adjusted for cost of living in the nation. The question for Flagstaff is not whether we need a higher minimum wage or not. The question is what that higher minimum wage should be. That is what we're going to focus on answering. Bringing Flagstaff a broadly shared economic prosperity is what I ran my campaign for the council seat on, and it is what the voters gave me their mandate.
One of the guiding principles of the Flagstaff City Council is to ensure local control, and the coalition and others have highlighted that as something that we must remain committed to, and this lawsuit was an example of having courage to say we want to maintain our local control and we are going to challenge decisions that unconstitutionally take that local control away. So I hope in the future the legislature is more mindful when it takes actions that usurp our power and in fact violate the Constitution.
One of the real challenges we face is that we are living in a place, a city and a county that is becoming increasingly divided by income and ability in terms of wage power and wage earning ability. And that is not a blueprint for a resilient and robust future for us. We've gone through about 10 to 15 years of significant tax breaks for corporate entities, for tax incentives at those at the highest level of our income strata, while those at the moderate and lower income have continued to languish. Real poverty rates in this county now approach 35% when adjusted for cost of living. Youth in poverty in rural Coconino County is in excess of 40%. Average median wages, household wages, have declined in recent years. And all this is an opportunity for us to have the discussion about local conditions, the realities of living in our part of rural Arizona, have those discussions occur here as opposed to in Phoenix. And that's where these discussions should occur because we know our local conditions, we know our communities, and our communities can relate directly to us. So thank you so much for your great work on this. Really, really important and glad, really proud to play a very small role. Thanks very much.